It's Maleven, which is Mike and L, versus Byler, which is Mike and Will.
Okay.
Huh.
Have Mike and Will showed a penchant to, want to get at each other?
Nope.
Okay, well,
People are trying to imply it.
is that kind of like the strange supernatural thing where they make the brothers like gay for each other but they're brothers and not gay for each other?
Yes. Yes.
I understand. Well, we've already started going live already. Well, not live, but recording.
Hello.
Don't worry. We can edit anything we don't want to say or have in it. Tunes, DJ Tunes, you ready out here?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Mama Steve, you ready out here?
I am. I'm just trying to get situated. Okay, now we're ready.
All right, well, let's go ahead and jump right into the show. Welcome, everybody, to the No Name Nonsense podcast. As you see, we're doing a little different today. We got the Zoom action going on, which I kind of feel the vibe of the Zoom action, but I do miss being in the room, hanging out and chopping it up a little bit more. So the reason why we're doing this is because a member of my family may possibly been exposed to COVID, which means I'm quarantining until we get a test back pretty much on Monday. So at this point, we will do the show from here. So this show will be less of segments, more of us just talking, going through the segments, all combined together in one good old jambalaya. So some of the topics we have going on this week is we're going to talk about Ice Cube briefly. We're going to talk about the second part 2, subsequent movie debate with Trump and Biden. Cardi B and Offset, we got a little reunited and it feels so good going on.
Again?
Oh, well, we're gonna talk about it.
Oh, God.
We're gonna talk about trespassing and if taking photos is a symptom of trespassing. And then I know, like I said, everybody, we set the world on fire with Backstreet versus NSYNC. But this week, I got one. The world may not be on fire for this one, but we may get a nice, good California burn on this one with Fearless versus 1989. And shout out to the wildfire. So I don't want to be insensitive to that, but we're going to have some fun with that. And then
that's the tea.
We're going to finish off with movies, TV, and music. So to start off how everybody's doing, let's go, Mama Steve. How are you doing today?
I feel so lonely because I'm not with y'all today. I know, because we didn't do it last week. And now we're like all confined in our little rooms.
Yeah. DJ Tunes, make sure you get Janet Jackson, I Feel So Lonely on the playlist.
I feel so lonely. No, I will say I'm doing well. I had a very busy week at work this week, so I've had the couple of days to kind of like wind down. And actually, we have confirmed, my friends and I, to do our Stranger Things Day extravaganza. So November 6th and November 7th, we will be visiting various areas of where they filmed Stranger Things season 1, 2, and 3. And I'm really excited about that. We finally have that planned. So I am pumped. And I ordered like special t-shirts and everything for the occasion. I'm making little surprises for them because I haven't seen my friends in person in over a year because of this whole COVID thing.
Long time.
I know. It's crazy. And so, COVID, Jason, I'm sorry to hear about what's going on, but hey, we completely understand. I feel lonely over here, but I feel warm in my heart knowing that we're still doing the podcast, even though we're not together in the same room.
Right, and you don't have to put on any pants, so that is a win for you.
That's a plus.
Hey now. Oh, speaking of exciting news, we finally got the Elgato to working, so I will be coming back on Twitch tonight.
Okay, what's your Twitch?
Excited. Mama Steve. It's twitch.tv/Mama Steve Meg.
Well, send that on out. I will definitely view your Twitch while I'm watching football. So
there you go.
Tune in.
Yeah, thank you. Fingers crossed that it works because it took me a good solid couple of weeks to try to figure out what the problem was, and we finally figured it out. Yep.
Well, DJ Tunes, what you got going on, brother?
Man, feeling good, feeling great. Man, I missed you guys last week. You know what I'm saying? A lot's going on in 2 weeks since we last, been together and last, hit y'all with another, No Name Nonsense podcast. Welcome to the social distance pandemic edition.
We had to do it. I mean, this is technically
the first of its kind.
This is technically our 10th episode, so I figured every 10 we would do something special and different. So this will be the
Okay.
pandemic episode for episode 10.
Word.
At first I was going to go, let's go like pop stars for episode 10 because we were doing Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
But then, I mean, hell, we're already social distancing, so we're giving them enough already. So
pretty much.
Most definitely, you know. And within the 2 weeks that we've last been together, lots going on. You know what I'm saying? We've crowned an NBA champion. We got the Lakers and LeBron winning their 17th NBA championship. We're 4 games into the World Series, tied 2-2, you know, with the Dodgers and the Rays. We've had Trump versus Biden, the sequel, you know, part 2. You know what I'm saying? That went down. Regal Cinemas closed for the rest of the year. You know, AMC on the brink of extinction. You know, stuff is crazy out there. Yeah. Oh, and your boy officially became a father of a teenager. Congratulations to me,
I
DJ
know.
Tunes.
Shout out to you, DJ Tunes. It only
13-year-old.
gets worse from here and then gets better again.
Bro.
Yes. Dun.
It's getting scary out here, bro, in these streets, man. 13-year-old, you know what I'm saying? Female teenager. And I might have started strapping up, bro.
As a former female teenager, let me just say good luck.
Okay. Yeah.
Good luck.
I know I'm gonna need it.
Did you how was her birthday? Did she enjoy her birthday?
Yeah, man. We took her to she wanted to do what do you call it? The Netherworld.
Mm-hmm.
And we kind of did it was like 13 of us. We went 13 deep, you know what I'm saying, the tour of the Netherworld. And we had t-shirts made up, you know, Maddie's 13th, you know, Spook Bash or Boo Bash, you know, with her name on the back and, you know, all glittered up. You know, we did it up. It was nice.
What is Netherworld?
Have you never heard
Netherworld? Haunted house.
Oh, okay. So
yeah, they opened up a new location. We went to the old one over at off of Jimmy Carter off the Access Road for 85, and they opened up one in Stone Mountain. Big. It's massive. It was cool.
Yeah, so is Netherworld the one where, like, if you make it to a certain floor or level, you get a prize, or is that just the regular haunted house in Netherworld?
Nah, that didn't take place at this particular location. Would have been nice, you know. It was long, it was lengthy.
Okay, because I know it's one of them. I can't remember what it was, and people are commenting.
I've heard, yeah, I've heard of that. Yeah, you know, maybe that would possibly give me some type of spook. I wasn't spooked at all, bro.
Oh, for real? Netherworld didn't do it for you?
Your boy went through it like a straight G, dog. I think I might have scared a couple people in there. You know what I'm saying? When I saw it coming, man. I might have spooked them more than they spooked me. It was cool. It was entertaining.
DJ Tunes out here ruining Netherworld for the masses. I look at you. Look at you.
There's my tunes.
I had to get my money's worth. You know.
Yeah.
Well, besides me and the possible COVID scare, we actually just dropped about $1,300 on getting our sump pump fixed last night. So yeah, that was exciting. As our toilet was just flushing real weird, and we called the plumber, and he was basically like, he pulled out our sump pump and realized that an aquarium, like, you know, like you have like a pond aquarium in somebody's backyard, that the previous owners or whoever did the sump pump had put that kind of ejector in there. So literally, it was a mess, man. Like we had to go put a brand new in there. So, you know, kid us a nice little $1,300. You know, we had to go, we had to just slap that off like we got it, and we don't got it at all. Yeah. That's why we need people to pay us. We got to pay for a sump pump. So shout out to anybody who wants to donate to the cause here. But
welcome to adulthood, man.
I know, right? Yeah. I know.
You know, it's funny, and Bay, and Bay, I call my husband Bay from time to time. Please don't be mad at me. That's usually what I spend on Stranger Things at Stranger Con weekend. So that's like a
Stranger Things, the same thing.
That's like a Stranger Con down the toilet, literally down the toilet. Stranger Con down the literal toilet. I'm so sorry, man. So sorry.
It's fine. I mean, we're not paying for it, so we're perfectly fine with you spending that money.
Oh, good.
All good.
Yeah, I would literally have just like a full blown mental breakdown if I had to put $1,300 in a toilet.
Yeah, I'd be hurting right now, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Oh.
Well, let's go ahead and jump into people that are trying to counsel or put Ice Cube down the toilet. So that being said, Ice Cube, you know, 2 weeks ago, I guess it's almost 3 weeks now, almost close to, he came out that he had participated with Trump and helped to a degree with Trump's platinum plan, which, as people don't know, the platinum plan is Trump's, agenda for Black America. And so the rumor that came out through Trump's administration that Ice Cube had been a part of it and had suggested some things, and some items that he had suggested had made it into the Platinum Plan. From that point, we saw a whole cancel Ice Cube movement going on online, because how dare Ice Cube work with President Trump to, bring a plan for Black America. So I just figured I wanted to see what people thought about this. One, in the should we cancel Ice Cube? But then two, like, is this productive of what we're trying to do here with the election coming up around the corner? So, Mama Steve, what do you think about Ice Cube helping Trump with the Platinum Plan?
I mean, it's a good cause. I can see, a Black man helping with a Black movement. And, if this is Trump's plan, this is Trump's plan. It's obviously part of his campaign. So I applaud Ice Cube for that. Although I really don't think that it will become of something. Like, if Trump is elected president again, I really don't think this Platinum Plan will move forward, because they will not let it move forward. They'll just put it at the wayside. Honestly, I think I commend Ice Cube for what he's doing. He's putting himself out there. He wants to, make Black Lives Matter, continuing, and the equality movement and everything. But honestly, I feel that this is just a ploy to get Trump back in office. And I feel like that they're going to take full advantage of Ice Cube. And then if Trump is reelected and they put this at the wayside, Ice Cube's going to be like, well, what's going on? It's like, oh, well, it's a plan, but we're not going to make it a priority. Because that's what I've seen Trump do, is not make certain plans a priority. So is Trump taking advantage of Ice Cube's, endorsement for this plan? That's just my worry, is that, look what's going on right now. Every single election, we get down to the wire, and they come up with these plans or these, movements. And I say I'm talking about the candidates.
Right.
Like, I'm implementing a plan. I'm implementing this plan. Hillary had a tax plan that she had prepared, and then Bush had a plan, and then Gore had a plan. But is this? I guess my question is Ice Cube getting taken advantage of? Is this plan, if Trump is reelected, is Trump going to make this plan, this Platinum Plan, a priority? Or is it just a coy to get him back in office?
Absolutely, absolutely. Since, all Black people know everybody, I went on and just text Ice Cube. So I'm going to let Tunes answer while Cube responds back to me. Go ahead, Tunes.
So, I pretty much agree with Mama Steve. Like, I feel like, pre-election, Trump's on board. He's going to do whatever it takes to possibly try to get the Black vote, try to sway some Black voters his way. It's a typical ploy for, Republican Party, AKA Donald Trump as well, number 45. And then when post-election, if he gets reelected, we'll see how far that, that plan, the Platinum Plan goes, Until that time comes, Ice Cube, Ice Cube's done a lot, for the Black community, in the 30, 40 years he's been, a celebrity or a star. So, I vouch for Cube, and I appreciate what he's done and what he's doing. And he's doing what he has to do to try to, to help us even further. In my book, that's how I see it.
Right. No, I agree. I think that is 100% where it is. I think we, as Black people, we do have a bad habit of always pushing Democrat, and not exposing ourselves to work more with the Republicans. Now, I'm with all of you all. The Republicans don't do much for us, or much for, I want to say, lower class people in general, like, poor and the impoverished. So even with Black America, they don't do much with us in that regard. But that shouldn't stop us for trying and working our best to work with them. With that being said, I think the issue I have with this, and this is kind of on Cube and a little bit of the Republican Party. I don't blame the Republican Party much on this, but I blame a lot of this on Cube. There are so many organizations and people out right now that are pushing agendas for Black America to this administration that are getting no kind of audience with this administration. So imagine if Cube would have leveraged with one of those communities or one of those movements or campaigns, then met himself with President Trump. When I know he said he didn't meet with Trump himself, he met with some of his advisors. But the reason why to meet with Ice Cube is because Ice Cube is a prominent Black celebrity to get, again, the Black vote. So imagine if he would have taken a legitimate agenda that these organizations that have been working on for years and taken that to that administration. Don't get me wrong, Ice Cube's contract with Black America, it is good for, I want to say, a celebrity who's just figuring this out and getting help and input from other parties. I mean, from other people. Like Claude Anderson, Dr. Claude Anderson is one of the people he got a lot of input from. Also, if you haven't read Powernomics, please read it. Great book. But going to that point, there are people who are more skilled in this craft and in this medium and this understanding of how this works that Cube should have probably had with him and adopted their plan and presented to that administration. And I don't want to be hard on Cube when I say it's kind of ignorant of him to think that Black America doesn't have people out here fighting for the, for the uplifting of Black America. I think it's ignorant of Cube to think that there's no organizations out here not pushing plans and trying to speak to the Republican Party, but can't get an audience with them to be heard. Because I heard Ice Cube on Roland Martin, he made a comment that he just looked around and he didn't see anybody doing nothing for Black America, and he decided he needed to put together a plan for Black America. Like, that ignorance in itself to not know that there's numerous organizations out here. He could have went to the NAACP. He could have went to the Urban League, SNCC. It's so many organizations that he could have went to, got on the phone with, and said, "Hey, what is your Black agenda, and how can I help get this to the masses or to promote it or whatever?" So that's one of my biggest flaws with the Cube thing. My second biggest flaw is you read Cube's contract with Black America. A lot of the stuff on it is unconstitutional. It won't get approved to pass because it's unconstitutional. That's something, if he would have spoken to people who are versed in the subject matter, could have needled out and eliminated. And then the last part of it is that I want to say that Cube, you did the right thing. Meet with both parties, because if Trump wins, we want to have that leverage to say, "Hey, Trump, like Mama Steve said, you promised this stuff. Now we're going to hold you accountable because we voted you in." So absolutely. Mm-hmm. But I also think that Cube has to understand that you didn't meet with Trump. You met with his admin. You didn't sit down with that man face to face and say and demand this. And then two, and I'm not saying you need cameras, but I would love for a camera to be in there and record the whole meeting. So as you sat there and you fought for black empowerment, see what their reactions were going to be. See, you know what I'm saying? See what they would have said when you said, "Hey, I want every Black baby to be born with stocks and bonds already in their name." See what they would have, like, see what their face, like, you know what I'm saying? And that would have shown how the Republican Party was about this agenda. But instead, it was a closed-door meeting. Nobody knows what happened. Only we can go off is what Cube and the advisor said. And now we're stuck looking at Cube like, well, what did you do? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And we're stuck here. And I think, again, that's why I kind of put on Ice Cube. You're too versed in the ability of, what is it called? Publicity and coverage and all that, being an entertainer your whole life. You know how this game is played. And you let these people play you. Now, if something good comes out of it, I'll be the first one to apologize to Cube. I'll be the first one to back up and say my bad. But way it's looking like, what did Trump say? "Oh, I'll enact the platinum plan if I get reelected." Well, you got 3 months, dude. Why you waiting?
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm gonna interrupt you here for just a second. I'm gonna Kanye West this right now because
okay, all right.
But I'm gonna support what you're stating, but the best that I can. Here's the thing. He had 3 months. He has 3 months. Oh, honey, he had 4 years. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna say that right now. You're implementing this plan now at the 11th hour. I'm sorry. I really cannot, because you had your chance to implement this plan. You had your chance to fight for equality. You were in office. You had this. And what did you do? Wait till the 11th hour to say, "Oh, now I have a plan if you re-elect me." No, we're not playing that game.
That's what I said. I don't put much on the Republicans, because this is what the Republicans are. Like,
I know,
this is nothing new for them. So, like, I'm not going to tell this Republican Party, "Oh, I hold you accountable for something that you already done for numerous generations already." Like,
the buzzer is done. The buzzer has gone off. It's time. The quarter is over. We're going to the next quarter. And for Ice Cube, it's called the power of persuasion. Sure, he had many organizations that he could endorse as a Black man. He had many, he has a platform. He's a celebrity. He's been there. He's done all of this stuff. But, I'm assuming that the power of persuasion put him in this predicament where the Trump administration or whoever is representing the platinum plan or whatever this plan is came to him and said, "I'm a good negotiator. Here, it's like negotiating cookies for a 4-year-old. Okay. So obviously Ice Cube probably sat down with these gentlemen or women or whatever and listened to their plan and was like, this sounds legit. But then to me, if I'm going to sit there and I'm going to listen to your spiel about a plan and I'm going to endorse my platform, my status, my money into this plan, into promoting this plan, into telling my followers about this plan, oh honey, you best better believe I'm meeting with the top-notch head of this plan.
I'm a boss, you a boss. Why am I meeting with the boss?
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
what I'm saying?
Ice Cube should know better than that, man.
Yeah. I'm a boss, you a boss. I'm meeting only with the boss. Like Master P said, I'm only meeting with the boss. Like, nah, we're not doing this.
And to my family who's listening to this, I love you and I support your decision on who you pick politically. But to me, as Mama Steve, as a person, I just feel like Ice Cube's about to be taken advantage of. I feel like that this platinum plan is not going to be a thing until much later in the second term if Trump is reelected. I mean, I played devil's advocate when Trump was first reelected. I was like, okay, because I voted independent. I voted for Johnson, and I am an independent. So I voted for Johnson, and because he had great, feminism, platforms, he had a great tax plan, and I'm thinking, okay, Trump won the election. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. Let's see what happens. Well, there were things that I did agree that Trump did, like abolishing the death tax for inheritance. But a lot of things that I did not agree with, and there's a lot of things that I'm still waiting on, i.e. women's rights, child care, write-offs on taxes, health care. I mean, I'm still waiting for all that.
Right.
So I just have this feeling that this platinum plan is a last minute thing to get him back in office. And if he's reelected and he wants to push forward this platinum plan, I'm really hoping that he puts it as a top priority.
Well, also, if you read the platinum plan,
in the cold.
The platinum plan is a joke anyway, but that's another discussion for a whole nother thing. A lot of that money they're talking about in the platinum plan ain't going to Black America, but we see figures and numbers and we just assume. So we can talk about it another day, but how about the Democrats' response to Ice Cube that they would speak to him after the election? So do we give any heat to the Democrats for doing that, or is that bad optics? What do you think there? So let's start with DJ Tunes and let's roll to Mama Steve.
Oh, man. I mean, who knows? I mean, at least they being upfront about it. You know what I'm saying? I guess they decided, since the Republicans are, dealing with them at this time, that they would deal with them at a later date.
Right.
I mean, it's all a joke. Ain't no telling what either party is up to. Ain't no telling what's going to get done, what's not going to get done. I mean, like you said, I'm saying, a lot of the money that, I'm saying, they putting up, the $5 billion, ain't no telling how much of it is going towards the Black community and where the rest of the money is going.
Absolutely.
It's like a lose-lose situation until something's actually done.
Absolutely. What about you, Mama Steve? Democrats saying after the election, we'll holler at you.
See, I just think with the Democrats, it's like, well, you've signed your name in blood and we're going to see what the outcome is. And then if Trump doesn't get reelected, we're going to come after you with our own deal. Okay. I mean, that's just my opinion, is that, it's kind of like you join a softball team or like or any sort of like intramural team. You join this team and it's not really a commitment, but you've put your heart and soul into it. Okay.
Right.
And the team sucks, but you're like the star player. But see, the team sucks, but you're like the star player of the team. So this other intramural team is going to come over and say, hey, we see your skills. After the season's over, do you want to talk logistics about joining our basketball team? It's just kind of like, you try one thing, one season, and then it doesn't work out, but the other team sees your skills and is like, let's talk after the season's over. So I kind of think that's what the Democrats are doing. But at the same time, I feel like the Democrats are just over the whole Republican endorsement thing. And they're just like, you know what? If the Republicans are not going to help us out, then we're not going to help them out. So we're just going to deal with all of it after the election because, there's a lot of stuff going on, especially with this coronavirus, relief package that they're trying to get through. And it's a he said, she said thing where they're like, well, who's pushing it to the after the election and who's not? And
Right.
I guess the Democrats are just over it. There's a battle going on the Senate floor.
Well,
They don't like each other.
I'm not gonna give them that much bail now. I think the worst thing about the Democratic Party is messaging. Messaging is the biggest problem with the Democratic Party. If the Democrats would actually come out with their messaging properly, people will more likely vote Democrat. So you meet with Ice Cube, regardless if you can't have any power. You meet with them to say, hey, we met with Ice Cube too, but we didn't want to announce it because we will already have our Joe Biden lift every voice Black agenda. And we wanted to hear Cube's thoughts on our Black agenda. Like, you can spin that. And so when the Republicans came out with it, you could have been like, well, we met with them too. We didn't want to disclose that because we wanted to wait till we got elected and then spoke about what we did and how we work with different. It's easy ways. Like, I'm not even a PR guy. And even I saw that a mile away. When you come out and say, we're going to wait till after the election, you basically just, to Black America, it seemed like, oh, you're holding our vote hostage too. Like, oh, we'll talk to Cube once you get us in office. Because I mean, I know after the election doesn't mean Joe Biden wins, but it feels that way. Like, oh, we'll talk after the election, after we get some real power. Instead of
we'll see what happens.
Now. Right. Make the plans now.
Let's wait and see.
Yeah. And so, like, hey, if you ninjas vote for us, we'll make sure we talk to them. Like, it's like, whoa, Democrats, like, you already are losing a lot of the Black male vote because of that attitude where it's a wait and see moment. And you're losing, like, Trump got 13% last election. He's pushing for 20% this time. And the reason why he's doing this is because Black men feel disenfranchised by the Democratic Party. We do not feel like the Democratic Party talks to Black men. It talks to Black women because 95% of Black women vote Democrat. So it's easy for them, but they don't come directly at us with the things that matter to us. And this would have been something that went a long way for the Black male thing, that you met with a Black man to talk about a plan for Black America. Like, but I think they missed the opportunity on that one. I guess the last thing I want to talk about on this subject is, man, how fucking racist is the whole name of the thing being the platinum plan? Did anybody? I know you niggas like platinum and gold, so let me make it the platinum plan.
I wasn't gonna say anything because I have a funny story behind that. You remember you remember my days as a platinum pixie.
Mm-hmm. Yes, the hair was very platinum. Very,
okay.
Toots
white.
Yeah, Toots, I don't think we've met. Maybe we did meet because I think this was around the time that your sons were born. Because you came to our New Year's Eve party. It was years ago. It's when we first moved here. Well, Mama Steve, for those of you at home listening, Mama Steve had a pixie cut, and I dyed it platinum blonde. And when I talk about platinum, it was white.
Yeah.
White.
Word.
And that's what I would tell my stylist is, I want my hair as white as you can get it. Because I used to think that pale look with the short hair, the pixie cut was like cutting edge because I have blue eyes and I thought I was some sort of ice queen. Well, of course, the platinum plan, he names it platinum. I'm just thinking about how white my hair was back then.
Trump was thinking about how y'all nigga love that platinum. He's like, hey. Every rap video I see, they talk about their ice. Let's name it the platinum. He was gonna go with the ice plan, but he was like, nah, they may confuse that with vanilla ice. So let's go with the platinum plan. You ninjas love your gold and platinum, all grills in your mouth. Yeah, that old racism.
Man, you gotta do better than that, Q, man. That's just lame, bro.
At what point are we just gonna call a spade on Trump? I know all these white folks be like, oh, he's not racist. Look at Joe Biden. And it's like, well, you named it the platinum plan. Like, what that got to do with Black folks? Like, unless you're going to talk about the stereotypes of Black folks. Like, man, I'm tired of folks, man. I'm just like, just call them a racist. I mean, we voted, let's be real. Majority of American presidents have been racist. That's a fact. That's not me making this up because I'm Black. That is a fact. Lyndon B. Johnson, civil rights. He used the N-word very openly and did not give a hell. Like, Abraham Lincoln. Yeah, he met with Frederick Douglass, but he still had slaves. Like, most of American presidents are racist. So don't look at it now like, oh, well, Trump's not racist. Shut up. He's a 70-year-old white man. Yes, he's racist. I didn't see him marching with Dr. King. Like, he was alive for that. He could have been right there with him. He didn't do none of that. No.
Okay, I have a question about that. Hold on. I have a question. And this is just like a historical question that I have because, I've been learning a lot about the movement, the equality movement over the years because it's something that I really wasn't taught in school because and that's a whole nother subject for a whole nother day. Regards to the marching with Dr. Luther King. Martin Luther King. I'm sorry. I've had way too much coffee today. Did any presidents or any former presidents march with him?
No, if we actually would have the nuts to nominate Bernie Sanders, he would have been the first and probably only. But Kennedy did endorse the marches, but never marched physically with it because, I mean, being shown with a bunch of Negroes was basically political suicide at that time.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I was just curious on, as powerful of a march that was. But back in the day when, black and white and colored were still a sensitive topic, did any political figure that was in a higher office march with him?
Black figures, yes. Black legislative and senators and Congress, they did, but they were few and far between. And Bernie Sanders was Bernie Sanders was in politics when he did march with Dr. King in those movements. So
but what about white? What about white political figures?
Well, because Bernie.
There were so Bernie.
Yeah, there was a few other here and there. I don't want to jade them because there were the people that have passed away that were political white figures that did march and did support it. But they were in usually more, let's call it straight, more urbanly populated states. So they could get away with it without basically committing political suicide.
And for those of you listening at home, Corny and Jay has been my tutor when it comes to Black history, because I have so many questions in regards to it, because these are the types of things that we were not taught in school. I think you and I had talked about the Civil Rights Anthem. I only learned the first verse of that anthem in 5th grade, and it was never mentioned again.
Right. Well, that's what people are giving Biden hell about, because Lift Every Voice, the Black agenda for Biden is the Lift Every, is the Negro National Anthem. And so people are like, oh, look at them pandering. And I'm like, yeah, but you guys prefer the Platinum Plan. That's where we at. That's where we at in Black America. We found with the Platinum Plan, but we mad at Lift Every Voice.
It's a beautiful song. I love it. It's enrichment. It's empowerment. It's something that just warms your heart, and it just tells you. And to me, I know it's for the Black and African American and colored community, but when you hear it, I hear it, I feel empowered. I feel like I can move mountains.
All right, well, let's go that. We're down to under a minute. We're gonna end it here. Cube, I mean, I'm not gonna say you played yourself, but you did let them they got you a little bit here, man. They got you a little bit.
Yeah, they did.
You're too strong for that. But all right, we're gonna come back with some more good stuff here at the No Name Nonsense podcast. All right, appreciate you rocking with us.